Election day has come and gone, but the bitter aftertaste remains. Hello, residents of the universe. My name is AJ. Welcome to Ways to Human. In the aftermath of November 5th, I have read post after post, watched video after video, both from the atheist community and as well as from Christian friends and family who are outraged, devastated, and disgusted by the results. But much louder than their voices is the silence from those who say nothing, even if unintentionally. I hear your silence. In times like this, silence is a statement on its own. I want you to know that while words may not be spoken, their absence does not go unnoticed. Choosing silence in the face of a return to values that undermine dignity and equality is in itself a position that we are taking. I understand that many people don't want to talk about politics. It took me a while to come up with exactly what I wanted to say, to put my thoughts into coherent words that weren't, oh fuck, we're fucked. So I know that some silences are born from helplessness, from uncertainty, or fear of conflict. Other silences come from wanting to avoid discomfort or a wish to remain neutral. But there comes a time when staying silent and neutral aligns with those things that many of us are struggling against. Things that have hurt so many of our loved ones and so many people in our communities. By staying silent, you are letting the world know that you stand with hatred, that you're okay with basic human rights being taken away. You're sending a message that you see certain minority groups as subhuman. You're showing fellow human beings what their value is to you. Please think about what your silence may be saying to those around you, those who are hurting, those who don't know who their allies are, those who are too afraid to live their lives authentically. They need to know where you stand. If you are someone who has been outspoken about the results of the election and you find yourself surrounded by people who voted for a president that is a well-known criminal who has been impeached not once but twice, a man they claim will fix the economy but has filed bankruptcy for his businesses 6 times, a man that has been accused of sexual assault against over 25 women and teenage girls, a man who had an affair with a porn star while his wife was pregnant, but sells you Bibles for $60, a man who supports a woman's body belonging to the government. If you're surrounded by people who think someone like this is preferred over another person simply because that person has a uterus, can be hard to deal with. It's hard to watch the rhetoric of people who support the dismantling of democracy and the destruction of fellow human beings. So I want to let you know a little secret. It's okay to keep those people outside your bubble. It's important to set boundaries with people whose beliefs actively threaten the rights and well-being of others. Whether it's standing up for body autonomy for women or trans people, being an ally to minorities, or advocating for basic human rights like access to education and healthcare, maintaining boundaries isn't just about personal comfort. It's about protecting vulnerable groups from the impact of harmful ideologies. When someone holds beliefs that support taking away another's freedom, it isn't merely a difference of opinion. It's become a fundamental clash over the values and morals that shape who we are at our core. So setting boundaries to cut out people from our lives that hold these views can be both a silent act of self-care as well as a loud, outspoken stand for the dignity and rights of those who are too afraid to speak up because their lives are at risk. It's okay to put your mental health first. No, I'm not saying that you need to cut out every single person that voted for Trump. There are people who were low information voters, and those are the type of people that we can reach. I have several family members who voted for Trump on the first election when he first became president, but did not vote for him the second or third time. So these are the types of people that we can actually reach. We can offer them information. We can have a heart-to-heart with them and help them to rationalize what has been going on. So how do we proceed? Firstly, I would like to give a few tips on how not to proceed. We have mourned, we have yelled, and we have cried. The time is now to move forward, not to try to throw blame stones and see which one sticks. This is a Trump tactic, and we will not go down that road. Stop blaming the Democratic Party, Biden, Harris's lack of debate skills, or her less than perfect public speaking skills. Harris had a few months to prepare. Trump has had nearly a decade of campaign experience. I would say that she handled it the best that she could with what she had. Let's stop blaming the Electoral College and the 2 million people that voted for third-party candidates. At least they voted. These things did not make a big difference. What made a difference was nearly 70 million people did not care enough to vote because they didn't care who took office. And guess what? Even if you don't vote, somebody will become president. So your non-vote was loud and clear. What also made a difference was the other 70 million people that voted to keep hatred, fear, division, racism, homophobia, transphobia, misogyny, white supremacy, and Christian nationalism alive. Harris lost because 70 million people see the other 264 million Americans as less than valuable than themselves. She lost because they decided that the 13 million LGBTQ adults, almost 2 million trans people, 40 million black people, 11 million undocumented immigrants, and 168 million women in the United States are not worthy of the same basic human rights. Trump didn't win because of technical issues like campaign funds or the Electoral College. He won because hatred and lack of humanity prevailed. People compartmentalized logic and let cognitive dissonance take over in order to rationalize what they believe to be true. Misinformation and lack of education showed their ugly faces during this election. There were many people who simply voted out of self-interest and preservation because things have become too costly, and understandably, they want to live a comfortable life. So they ignored the horrors of Trump's history and just focused on the promises for better times ahead for the average American. This is called fascism, and 70 million people fell for it. This is where battleground is: fighting back misinformation, spreading accurate facts, advocating for education, and making sure that the church stays out of the government. We can fight back by not staying silent. Speak up, vote in local elections, help support your local representatives, contact your representatives, and stay educated on current bills being proposed. You can also let everyone know what Project 2025 stands for. Let the world know that the Heritage Foundation has had control of Trump since his first presidency with their mandate for leadership, which was a document just as detailed as Project 2025. It contained over 300 policy recommendations directly from the Heritage Foundation, a Christian nationalist nonprofit valued at several hundred millions. Trump enacted over 200 of their policy recommendations during the first half of his presidency. So his claim of not being aware of Project 2025 is a big, bold-faced lie. And his willingness to adopt policies from a clearly Christian nationalist Heritage Foundation shows his administration is not willing to separate church and state, a massive violation of the First Amendment. I will post the link to that list of policies and their current status on my description. I'm going to leave you with a quote by James Baldwin, an African American novelist, poet, and social critic. He said, "Please try to remember that what they believe, as well as what they do, and cause you to endure, does not testify to your inferiority, but to their inhumanity." Sadly, we can't convince anyone to care about other people, about other human beings, but we can lead by example, continue to care, to be kind, loving, compassionate, giving, understanding. The way we move forward is by becoming an ally in this fight, whether that is an outspoken ally of humanity or a silent ally of inhumanity. That's up to you. Today, I chose to be the humanity that I wish to see in the world. Thank you for listening to me ramble, and don't forget to like and subscribe.